more forward. On the ground.
If you prefer to sit on chairs, we have got chairs on the other side.
Yeah, you're free to sit there, sit here.
And then chairs outside here too.
The stairs also looks good.
Yeah. That's my favorite spot. Come, let's have a seat.
A bit more here so the people have some space to sit.
So, thank you for hosting this program, Prabhu. And Mataji, don't know where she is, she's busy. And thank you to Hui. This is a very interesting group. It's about 2 or 3 groups coming together, right,
Exactly.
Prabhu?
So we have got, the group who comes for yoga classes as well as the monthly kirtan classes,
programs,
the
yeah.
BMS, and
Yes.
then we have got the Lakshminarayan temple group, and we have got the salon temple group.
Ah.
Right? So Rasija Mataji, Makam, and Mr. and Mrs. Prabhu. Mataji,
Okay.
from Salon Road.
Ceylon Road. How many of you are from the Lakshman Temple? Okay. And Ceylon Road? Ah, nice. Okay. And then the rest of you are coming through Hui. And I know many of you. I've seen you, you've seen me, so it's happy to see you again. I think the best way we can start, Prabhu, is we start by chanting. Chanting is always very easy. We're going to chant the mantra. The mantra, you have also heard the chanting of the mantra. It is actually Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very easy to chant. Now, this program will become very dynamic if you participate in it. If you sit just to hear, you will feel that it can get very tiring because it will just continue and you will not participate. So my request is chant as much as you can. You can chant softly, you can chant loudly, you can scream, it's all right. You know, we will leave the house, we leave the owners to take care of the neighbors. But I think they have warned their neighbors well enough, so it should be all right. So my request is please chant. Chant with your heart. The names are very simple, they are very powerful vibrations, spiritual vibrations. The word Krishna means all attractive. The word Hare means energy. The word Rama means spiritually prosperous. So if you put all of them together, you're having a lot of good energy today. So my request is please chant.
Just a small announcement. Someone drives a Hyundai and you have parked it next to the fire hydrant. Be prepared to pay $100 over.
All right. It's the Hyundai, huh?
Yeah, so
Okay.
Yeah. There are a few lots here in front.
I hope my car is safe. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Your turn. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Your turn. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I can't hear you. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Holy names. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. So thank you very much for joining us today. You would find that the chanting that we did now is very powerful. No matter how many times we have chanted this mantra, the fact of it is that it continues to give us so much of energy and it gives us so much of peace. Sometimes people think it's a contradiction that the louder the music gets, the more peaceful you can get. But you find that when we speak about spiritual life is not meant to be static. That is very important. The more dynamic you are in spiritual life, the more active you are in spiritual life, you will find that you actually achieve a better and stronger and a more longer lasting sense of peace. Generally, the idea is that spiritual life should be something very calm and very quiet. And it shouldn't be with so much of loud music and instruments and everyone clapping. But the fact of the matter is that in this day and age, where it is very difficult to be concentrated, very often what happens when you become very silent in your meditation is that it's difficult to sustain it. If you were to try sitting down for half an hour to be completely still, you probably end up sleeping, right? I have an uncle who keeps telling me, you know, when you sing like this, right, this is not meditation. Meditation is when I stand very peacefully or when I lie down and I meditate, and I can meditate for 3 hours and I'm completely peaceful. And his grandchildren tell me, that's the time grandpa goes to sleep. That's when he's very fast asleep and he thinks he's meditating. So you see, in this day and age, the practical effect of meditation is that it has to be dynamic. Dynamic doesn't mean that we lose focus dynamism doesn't mean that there is no peace in our hearts. It means that we are receiving this powerful spiritual energy. That is what we are all receiving. And you can sense it. If we were to, if this was a social function, and we were all talking to each other, or we were talking to each other about each other, right, which happens in social functions, you'll find that the energy is very material. It is also very agitating after a while. There's only so much you can talk to someone. After a while, you just want your own time. But when you come for gatherings like this, you find it is very different, because the atmosphere is very spiritual in nature. So that is very important. The other thing that you will realize is the great challenge of the mind being still. The mind is your greatest friend, or it is your greatest foe. That is what the Bhagavad Gita says, right? For those who have been studying the Gita, you will know that Krishna says that the mind can be your friend, but he can also be your great enemy. But it is not the fault of the mind, because the nature of the mind is that it is always moving from one point to the other. You know, it's like children. You cannot expect children to be still. I mean, if I'm sitting here and I see a few children, if they are still, it is an amazing thing. But if they are restless, it is natural. You don't expect adults to be restless, but you expect children to be restless. So you must learn to accept that the nature of the mind is that it has the tendency to move your senses wherever it wants to go, right? So for example, something's happening behind me. I don't know what's happening. I just know that everybody's looking behind me, right? And I can see it. And why? Because the mind is attracted to what is behind me. I'm not sad that you're not, looking at me. That's fine. But obviously it tells you that the power of the mind is very powerful. All you need is 1-2 persons to walk past us while you're hearing something. And I tell you, all of you will follow them. That's how it is. That's how it is. So today, we have gathered here for a very special occasion, right? And I'm speaking to a very diverse audience. That's the challenge here. The challenge is I'm speaking to audiences who have been studying the Gita, audiences who have been performing a certain level of devotional service, and to my very good friends whom I meet every month for kirtan. But all of us are united by one common denominator. And that denominator is we are searching for something spiritual. That no one can deny. Everyone's on a journey, everyone's searching, and that's why we're all here. So in whatever diversity we have, the unity is our search. And that is the starting point of spiritual life. Spiritual life begins, all our scriptures tell us, spiritual life begins when we have an inquiry. And that inquiry is, who am I? Where have I come from? And where am I going to? These are the 3 very important inquiries that everybody has. And at some point, that's what drives you to move forward. You have all your mundane activities going on every day, and that is also very important. But behind all of this, you sometimes wonder, where is this all going to? You have families, you have friends, you have a society, you have employers, employees. All this is going on, but is that the only purpose of life? Is the purpose of life merely to study very hard? In Singapore, you have to do that. Hopefully get a good degree, and then you have to get a good job. You need to earn well, and then there'll be pressure for you to get married, especially if you come from Indian backgrounds. And then when that pressure is there, you will either succumb to it or you'll find someone. If you do find someone, then you settle down, and hopefully the marriage is good. And if it's not, then it's a challenge. And then you have children. And when you have children, those who have children will tell you that's also a challenge on its own. Those who don't have children will say, oh, we can't wait to have children. Those who have children will say, take your time, there's no hurry, because we're all going through our own journeys. And then you become older, children grow up, you become grandparents, and then you retire, and at the end, your end comes. People ask the question, is that all there is to life? Is that it? Animals eat, we sleep. Animals sleep, we sleep. Animals eat, we eat. Animals reproduce, we reproduce. Animals defend, we also defend. The only difference between the human form of life and the animal form of life is that we are able to understand and perceive what should be the value of life. Otherwise, we are merely deluxe editions of animals. We sleep on better beds. We defend with more veracity and velocity. And we have so many methods of enjoying ourselves. but we go back to the same problems of life. So during this month, we spend an entire month remembering just one beautiful aspect of life, the aspect of unconditional exchange of love. It's very important. We are all searching for spiritual life, but spiritual life is empty without love. I am sure you will agree with me on that. The whole basis of why we all come together is because we relish our loving dealings with each other. Isn't it so? That's why we come together. And love can be expressed in so many ways. There is love between a mother and a child and mother. There is love between a father and a child. There is love between friends, for example, in friendship. There is love between husband and wife. There is love at all levels of our lives. There is love in the form of respect for someone who's older than us. There is love in the sense of being very friendly and very open and energetic and informal. But all of these are elements of love. The only challenge of love in this material world is that in material world, love is very transactional. And very often love is defined by how much I'm giving you and how much you are giving me. If I can extract something from you and you can extract something from me, we call it a relationship in this material world. But if you look at it very carefully, it is actually transactional. But in the spiritual world, the idea of love is very different. In the spiritual world, the idea of love is that even though we may have some reason to serve others or to be with others, we try our very best to make sure that whatever we are giving is as unconditionally given as possible. That is very important. That doesn't mean that we don't have boundaries. Relationships always have boundaries. But within the boundaries, our motive for loving someone is as pure can be. This is very important. We love people for who they are. Just like we believe that our Creator loves us for who we are. You can call the Creator God, you can call the Creator the Source, you can call Him anything. In this month, we call Him Krishna. Krishna means all attractive, that's what we chanted. In this month, He also has a special name. His name is Damodara. It's a name of Krishna known as Damodara. Damodara means one whose belly is tied with rope. But in this case, it was tied by his mother. What am I looking at? Okay, good. So I can see this. I know what you're looking at then. All right. So this is the context in which we are speaking. You see mother and you see a son and you see a mota behind him and you see a rope around him, right? So this is the context of the pastime that we are talking about. In this time, in this month, we light lamps. And lamps always symbolize the illumination of knowledge to extinguish the darkness of ignorance. And what is this ignorance? The greatest ignorance that we have is that we think we are this body and only this body. That is the greatest source of ignorance. To think that our life is only made up of matter, flesh and blood is ignorance. The other ignorance is to think that when we live, this world will be there forever. That is also ignorance. Because the truth of the matter is nothing will last. Sometimes it's good that nothing is lasting forever. Imagine if this program continued forever. I mean, there's a limit to it, right? How long can Pradeep have us in the house? He can't have us all the time, isn't it? So the good news is, it's good that everything ends. But the bad news is, we are often attached to it. And we become so attached to the body and not the soul, that when the body leaves us, we find it very difficult to accept it. So that is ignorance. When you light a lamp today, you are putting aside two very important ignorances in our hearts. To think that we will live forever is a fallacy. To also think that in this world, we can continue getting whatever we want is also a fallacy. And to think that actually we are just this body is also a fallacy. So therefore then, what does the lamp represent? The lamp represents transcendental knowledge. Transcendental means to transcend. It means spiritual knowledge. And what is the essence of spiritual knowledge? The essence of spiritual knowledge is the exact opposite of darkness. That while our body does not live forever, our soul is eternal. And this eternal nature is always connected to the supreme nature of our Creator. And if you look at the beautiful picture behind you, God or Krishna appears in this pastime in a relationship with his devotee, who is his mother. And his mother's name is Yashoda. So Yashoda is the mother and she is the devotee. And here God comes in the form of a little child. Sometimes people think, how can someone so great and so supreme become a little boy? But the beauty of spiritual life is, in whatever way you feel it is best and easiest to connect with God, God will take that form and connect with you. If you feel that God should be my friend, then he will become your best friend. If you feel that I'm a bit older, I would rather like to have a more maternal or paternal instinct towards God, then you can see behind you, God appears as a child. And whatever relationship that you want to have with him, you can start that relationship any day, anytime. You don't need an auspicious month. You don't need to light a lamp. You can commence that relationship. And the beauty is, he will reciprocate it. But he will reciprocate it on the basis of love and on the basis of devotion. So this month is actually a month where we understand what true love is about. It is not transactional, but it is always giving. If something is coming to us, that is good. But otherwise, our mood is always to give. But always remember, you must have heard of the abundance principle. Many of us have heard of that. The abundance principle says that whatever that you give out wholeheartedly, without any motivation, without any interruption, it will always come back to you in full. You will never be shortchanged. Never be shortchanged. And this is true of all persons. It doesn't matter which part of the world you come from. It doesn't matter which faith you belong to. It doesn't matter what faith you subscribe or don't subscribe to even. The abundance principle is like the principles of gravity. Whether you like it or not, you are under the principle of gravity, right? You can't, whether you accept it or not doesn't matter. It's like fire. You know, if a child comes and touches fire, fire is not going to say, oh, I'm sorry, you're a little boy, I'm not going to burn you. No, fire burns and it will continue to burn. Gravity will continue to exist, and unconditional love and abundance will always continue. Why? Because it is coming from the source, who is Krishna. And that is why in this month, we remember Krishna as a little boy. And we celebrate the love that Mother Yashoda had for Krishna. And how did she show this love? She showed this love in a very beautiful pastime. I use the word pastime. I don't use the word story. Because specifically, whenever we speak about the Lord or God and what transactions or what relationship he has with devotees, we use the word pastime. Actually, pastime is a very simple word. It actually means passing your time. Think about it. Huh? Right now, what is your pastime? Your pastime is hearing me. That's it. What is my pastime? I just keep speaking. That's my pastime, right? Later on, when the program ends, what's another very nice pastime? You will all eat, right? So that's a pastime. Now, in normal situation, I and you talk to each other. Generally, what happens? You and I will talk about each other's pastime, isn't it? I did this today. I did that today. You did this today. You did that today. And we'll talk to each other. But very often, whether you admit it or not, our pastimes are very often quite boring. After a while, we just talk to someone for 5 minutes and we walk away. Next pastime, next pastime, next pastime. But the pastimes of the Lord are very pleasing. You can hear these pastimes so many times, right? And still you will be very happy. Why? Because the pastimes are spiritual in nature. And they give you so much value. And this is what we are living about. We are living for values. So the first value that you must understand in this pastime is unconditional love. And so now let me give you in a few minutes what the pastime is. On the morning of Diwali, you all know what Diwali is, right? Diwali is the day when we all celebrate it in Singapore. On that particular day, this pastime happens. Mother Yashoda, who's behind me, wakes up in the morning. And like every mother who wakes up in the morning, especially on Diwali day, it's a festival day. Many visitors are coming to our house. We change, we bathe, we get ready. We look very nice. And she did look very nice. She does, right? She has a nice sari. She looks very beautiful. But the first thing she did when she woke up was that she thought about the object of her love. And who is that? That's Krishna. And that's her son. And her son was sleeping in the room because he was a young boy. Look at him, he's not very old, he's very young. Mother Yashoda thought, what should I do on this very important day? And she thought, I should express my love for Krishna. And so she decided, let me churn butter. Churning butter is an old-fashioned way of making butter, right? You get milk from the cow and you churn it into butter. So long before we went to our NTUC fair prices and our CS Fresh, butter used to be churned. And Mother Yashoda was very traditional. And she thought, let me churn butter for my boy. And she started churning butter. Now what's important is, churning butter is not an easy activity. It's laborious. It takes time. But it didn't bore Mother Yashoda, and she didn't think it was not worth it. Sometimes when we perform an activity, we think, why should I go to so much lengths to do it? What's in it for me? But Mother Yashoda felt that I should do it because I have love for Krishna. Why? Because Krishna loves butter. And Mother Yashoda knew that. And so she churned butter, not caring that it was morning, she was fresh. Now the other important thing was, Mother Yashoda had so many helpers in the house. Because it was a large house, she had helpers. She could easily have told a helper, you come here and you churn the butter. Let me sit down and just wait for Krishna to wake up. Many of us do that if we have helpers in the house. But Mother Yashoda felt, churning butter, Krishna loves butter, and therefore I should churn it for him. Isn't it true that even if you have a helper at home, if you're a mother and you want to do a special dish for your child, you do it yourself? Mothers, am I right? You do it for yourself. You do it because you want to do it as an expression of love for your child. You will do it. And so Mother Yashoda decided, why should I outsource my love to someone else? Let me express my love by doing it myself personally. So this is a very important theme. When we create a relationship, not just with God, but even amongst each other, it is so important to imbue it with personal touch. There must be a sense of personal touch to it. If a relationship is impersonal, after a while it will not last. It will not last. Cold relationships eventually must dwindle, but warm relationships always survive. Mother Yashoda had so much warmth in the heart that she churned butter lovingly for Krishna. And while she was churning butter, which was very mundane, mind you, she didn't care. She was perspiring, she was tired, but she didn't care because her mind was so absorbed in remembering Krishna. Have you been in situations where you've gone through a lot of hard labor, all because you want to please someone for a birthday or a special function? You didn't feel the difficulty of the labor. In fact, you felt great satisfaction. And that's what she did, unconditionally. And so she churned and churned. And Krishna woke up. He was in the room, he woke up, and when he came out, he saw his mother. And when he saw his mother, he came to his mother and he indicated to her that he wanted her to feed him milk. Mother Yashoda stopped churning immediately because what mattered most was what Krishna wanted immediately. Krishna wanted milk, so I'll stop churning butter and I'll give him milk. So she put him on her lap and she started feeding him milk. As she fed him milk, Mother Yashoda was very happy because she saw that Krishna was very peaceful. And this is another sign of unconditional love. Unconditional love is really about making the object of your love always peaceful and happy. And that always is in abundance. When you make someone very happy and loving, it is very natural for others to reciprocate with you. It is very true. And so Krishna reciprocated with his mother, and he allowed his mother to feed him. Don't forget, Krishna is actually God in this pastime, but he's playing the role of a little boy, and he's playing it perfectly, right? So Mother Yashoda was feeding Krishna, but she had done something before that. She had placed a pot of milk on the stove, and it was boiling. That milk was meant for Krishna actually, but it was threatening to boil, and she was in a little bit of a dilemma. Because if I put Krishna down, he hasn't fed fully, which means he'll be a little bit grumpy or grouchy. And I wouldn't have fed him fully. But I need to save the milk because it's actually for him. So what do? So Mother Yashoda thought, let's take a chance. Let's put Krishna down, quickly get the milk and come back. So she went to pick up the milk and save the milk. But she put Krishna down. When Krishna was put down, remember, he's playing the part of a child. He became upset with his mother. He thought, how dare mother put me down? when I'm supposed to be finishing my milk and I haven't finished yet. So Krishna thought, let me punish my mother. Children do that sometimes. I'm looking at the children, they're smiling at me, right? Children sometimes do that. They think, aha, so mother has done this to me, right? Okay, I'm going to pay back. It's payback time. I used to do that with my mother a lot. When my mother used to discipline me, I'll make sure after that something that she liked would disappear. I remember that very well. Once after a while, of course, she caught me and that wasn't very pleasant. But it was taking revenge time. So you may think, why is God performing such an activity? Because don't forget, it is an exchange of love. And sometimes in an exchange of love, life is not very perfect. You don't expect Krishna to lie down there very peaceful and happy when the milk had not finished. He played the perfect part of a child. So he got up, picked up a stone and broke the pot that his mother was making butter in. And all the butter flowed out. And the moment it flowed out, Krishna became very happy because he loves butter. And he thought, mother gave me milk, I was very happy. Now I'm not so happy, but now I've become very happy because butter is there. And Krishna started eating butter. Now, when he ate butter, he realized that now Mother Yashoda is going to come out of the kitchen anytime. When she sees this scene, she's going to be very upset with me. So it's time for me to run. I shouldn't be around when mother comes. So Krishna picked up some more butter and he ran into the storehouse, further into the room. Mother Yashoda comes out thinking everything is fine. But to her surprise, she sees Krishna is not there. The buttermilk that she was churning very hard, it was all spilled. Butter was everywhere. Footprints of Krishna in butter was all over the place. And Mother Yashoda was smiling. She was smiling because she was thinking, this Krishna is so naughty, but he's so intelligent. He knows if he stood around now, he's going to be in big trouble. So he's run away. But she thought, it's time for me to discipline this boy. This boy has become very naughty. A little bit of background to it. Krishna was known in his village as a thief of butter. He would not only steal butter from his own house, not sure whether you would consider that stealing, but he would definitely steal butter from his neighbors' houses. So imagine, right, you have your son or daughter at home, and every day you make butter for them and they eat it. Then when you go away, they go to their neighbor's house and they eat butter also. You will start thinking, what's wrong with my butter? Why must he go to other people's house to steal butter? So Mother Yashoda was thinking that Krishna has become a butter thief. At this rate, he will become a juvenile delinquent. Then when he grows up, he'll become a professional thief. At this rate, my boy will become a criminal. I have to do something. So I have to discipline him today. So Mother Yashoda decided, let me take a stick. Because when he sees me, he's very happy. When he sees the stick, he learns to behave himself. Let me take the stick and let me go and find him. So Mother Yashoda decided to go. Now there's a very important point here. Remember, Krishna is God in this pastime. And yet he's considered to be a thief. The truth of the matter is, everything does not belong to us. And we don't belong to everything. If everything that we think belong to us actually belong to us, then technically speaking, it should be with you in perpetuity. In perpetuity would mean that even after you die, you should actually be taking whatever that you have. Which means if you got your MBAs and your BCom and Masters and whatever else, at the point of death, you should carry it with you. Or at the point of your birth, you should be coming into this world with all your certificates in hand also. But you and I know you don't come with anything. And you also know that you don't leave with anything. And you also know that everything in this world continues with or without you. This is the truth of life. Why? Because everything is part and parcel of a higher force. Krishna did not need to steal anything because actually everything belongs to him. What is the need for him to steal? The reason why he would go to someone's house and steal butter was because those who were in the house, they were all elderly and they were mothers, but they loved Krishna. And secretly, they were always praying that Krishna would come to my house and we could feed him butter. Therefore, by stealing butter from everybody's house, Krishna was fulfilling their desires. Because they wanted to feed him, but they could not, so he stole it from them. But actually, factually speaking, he never stole butter. He actually stole their hearts. And this is another symptom of love. When you love unconditionally, you will find that your heart is naturally given to the object of your love. And in that way, it is stolen, right? So Krishna's stealing has a much deeper meaning than an ordinary thief, for example. So Mother Yashoda decided at that point of time, whether he stole my heart or not, I'm still the mother and I need to discipline this boy. So she walks into the store and she finds in the store an amazing sight. Krishna is standing on a mota. Do you see the mota behind Krishna? That's the mota. In traditional India, they use mota to grind spices. It's quite high. And Mother Yashoda saw Krishna standing on the mota and he was tiptoeing and he was reaching for all the pots that were high up. These pots were high up and they were deliberately high up so that Krishna would not be able to get them. But I'm looking okay. But what happens is she saw Krishna actually standing up, reaching for the pots with a stick and breaking all the pots of butter in the store. And all the butter was flowing. They were all flowing. And Krishna wasn't alone. Mother Yashoda was surprised. Krishna was there with his best friends. Now Krishna's best friends, besides being his playmates, his friends, were also the monkeys in the village. You know, there is a close correlation between young children and monkeys, isn't it? Right? In terms of mischief, in terms of being very happy and playful. So Krishna loved the monkeys and the monkeys loved Krishna. And Krishna was feeding the monkeys very lovingly and the monkeys were taking butter and they were feeding Krishna very lovingly. And all of them were oblivious to the fact that Mother Yashoda was standing in the corner with the stick and she was watching the scene. But what Mother Yashoda did not know was that this exchange of love between the monkeys and God was not ordinary. In the previous life, when Krishna had come as Lord Rama, these monkeys had come as his servants, as his devotees. And they had served him very well a long time ago. And when they had served him so well, Lord Ram asked them, if you want anything from me, ask now, and I will give it to you. And instead of asking for a good house, property, or anything material, these monkeys warriors said that the next time you come into this world again, let us come back to serve you. That's all we want. This is the other principle of love. All our genuine love that we have for each other, it's always on the platform of service. Have you realized that? It's about what we do for each other. It is a symptom of love. If you tell your beloved, I love you very much, I love you very much, oh, I care so much for you, but you never wash the dishes, you never clean the house, you come home and throw your shoes anywhere, anyhow, and your beloved has to clean everything, and you still say, hey, I still love you very much, huh? You know, after a while, people get tired of that. Because you may say so many things, but you're not acting on it. Am I right? So therefore, love is always followed by service. And service is not a bad word. Service is a very spiritual word. Because when you serve someone, you serve them unconditionally. And so Mother Yashoda did not realize that Krishna and the monkeys were serving each other because in the previous birth, these monkeys prayed only for one thing, that they will come back again whenever Krishna came back again. And they wanted to serve him as they served him before. And God never forgets a promise he makes. And he made that promise to the monkeys. And so in this pastime, he fulfilled that promise. Now Mother Yashoda was there. The monkeys had eaten to their fill. And then they realized that Mother was there. Now they decided it's time for us to scramble. And monkeys left as soon as they came. Krishna was on the mota. His back was to the door. But when he saw all his friends running away and leaving all that butter there, he realized that somebody there they don't like or they fear is there. And so when he turned and saw Mother Yashoda, he was very happy because he loved Mother Yashoda. But when he saw the stick, he wasn't very happy because he knew Mother Yashoda was not very happy with what he had done earlier. And she had probably seen what he had just done now. He had destroyed all the butter. All the pots were gone. So when he saw Mother Yashoda with the stick, Krishna did one thing. Instead of sitting down and saying, Mother, I'm very sorry, you know, I committed an offense, I shouldn't have done that. He thought, let's run. He jumped off the motor and he started running. And Mother Yashoda thought, this boy is going to be the death of me because now he's going to run and I have to catch him. So Mother Yashoda thought, he's a small boy. Like I see all the children here, they're very young. And you know, if they run, right, especially if they're very young, eventually you catch them. Right? We've all done that with our children. We've caught them. So Mother Yashoda thought, don't worry, he's running, but I will catch him. So Mother Yashoda started running after Krishna. And just when she was about to catch little Krishna, Krishna was 1 meter ahead of her. Just when she was about to catch him, he was just half a meter ahead of her. And she ran all around the house, and Krishna ran and ran and ran. And she was getting tired. She wasn't exactly athletic. She was a bit on the heavy side, not so heavy. And she wore really nice saris, but everything was getting disheveled. And so she was getting very tired. But she was putting so much effort. And so finally she said, Krishna, I'm trying to catch you, but I can't. Can you please slow down so that I can catch you? When Krishna heard the love, the surrender, the humility, right? And this mood of really wanting well and meaning well for Krishna, Krishna decided, if my mother is surrendering to me, I should also surrender to my mother. And so Krishna, who is actually God, surrendered to his mother, who is his devotee. And when Mother Yashoda caught Krishna, Krishna became very afraid. Look at him here. He looks very, very afraid, just like a child would be, because he knew now that he was in trouble. Krishna started to cry. And you know, very often children, you normally put this mascara for them when they are young, you know, kajal. So Krishna had plenty of that because Mother Yashoda would put it. And in the pastime, he started crying. So all the ointment started washing away. Krishna had so much jewelry around him. And because he was shaking, like he was fearful of his mother, all his jewelry was also shaking. Mother Yashoda became very sad. Why should the object of my love be fearful of me? It's because of this stick. So she said, I'm going to put down the stick. I'm not going to discipline Krishna. But he's very naughty and he cannot keep still. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tie him to the motor. Okay? And when I tie him for a while, he will be still. Any of the children here been tied up before? No, huh? Okay. Not giving you ideas, but just telling you that. That's what happened to Krishna. So Mother Yashoda decided, let me tie Krishna. Now, just before that happens, this is also another important part of the pastime. This is why we light the lamp. It's knowledge. Mother Yashoda could not catch Krishna just purely on her own endeavor. Very important. Very important. You all came to Pradeep's house today largely because he invited you and you put in endeavor to come here. It's your endeavor that brought you here. Your free will. But your endeavor alone cannot bring you here. The other component that comes with endeavor is what we call the mercy of the Lord. It is his blessing. You know, sometimes we use the word blessing. Sometimes we use the word, I pray for you. It is the well-wishing blessing of the Lord that allows us to finally complete an action. Otherwise, if you think about it logically, everyone who's fully in control of everything, you should be acing your exams, you should be acing your work, you should be the perfect person because all your endeavor must translate always into the results you want. But you and I know that is not the reality. I'm sure children here study very hard for exams, right? And after studying very hard, you should think that I'm entitled to 99 out of 100. But you and I know that sometimes you can study very hard, but the paper could not be very happy with you. And what happens to you? You don't get the result you want. And sometimes you may not study very hard, it's happened to me, and all of a sudden I get a paper where all the answers I spotted, it came out. And the ones I didn't, luckily didn't come out. It happens. You know, sometimes I go to court, right? And in courts, sometimes you have a case that you think you're going to win. And you've got it all ready. And just when you think you're going to win, the judge doesn't believe you or it doesn't accept what you say. And for a moment, you think all my hard work has gone to waste. Because the judge finds that the opponent's arguments are better. It happens. Then there are moments when I think I don't have a good case. But when I go in, the judge sees things that I and my opponent have not seen. And all of a sudden I come out and my client says, whoa, that was a good case you won. And only I know how much of an endeavor I had made. These are facts of life. We all go through them. To think that only your endeavor will result in success is not the complete picture. To know that when your endeavor is there and you seek blessings from the universe and from God, that completes the picture. So Krishna is God. Mother Yashoda ran after him, but not out of envy, not out of motive, but as a mother would want well and wish well for her child. That's all she wanted to do. And when Krishna understood her heart, he then agreed to surrender to her. This is the exchange of love. And so Mother Yashoda got Krishna and she started tying him. Now she tried very hard to tie him, but there was a problem. She had the rope. But when she brought the rope in front, this is where the pastime gets really interesting. The rope was 2 inches short. She thought that's not possible. Krishna's not obese. He's not totally overweight. He likes butter, but he's just normal. The rope should be around him. She gets more rope. She brings it around his belly, but it is 2 inches short. She brings all the rope she can, and lo and behold, it is 2 inches short. She goes to her neighbors' houses. Hey, can you give me more rope? And the neighbors are very interested because they all love Krishna. They say, why? What are you doing with rope? I'm trying to tie Krishna. Really? Krishna is not very big. Don't you have rope in the house? I do. But why can't you tie him? I don't know. Can we come and watch? Yes, you can come and watch. Because everyone loved Krishna. So they all came and they watched. And Mother Yashoda tried to tie Krishna, but she couldn't. And finally, like how she ran after Krishna and she couldn't catch Krishna, she said, Krishna, I've been trying for the whole day, right? In the morning, I churned butter for you. In the afternoon, I was running after you. In the evening, it's coming to the evening, I'm trying to tie you, and I still can't tie you. Can you please do me a favor and just allow me to tie you? Be still. I don't know what you do, but just allow me to tie you. And when Krishna again heard this love, this motiveless, unconditional love of Mother Yashoda, he thought, it doesn't matter that I am God. Thousands and millions of people, they are trying to meditate on me. Many people are running after me for so many things. Good bank balance, good house, good property, good riches. Everyone's running after me, but they're all asking for material things. But this devotee of mine, Mother Yashoda, she only wants to bind me because she feels it's best for me. Like a father or a mother feels what's best for the child, that's all she wants to do. She wants nothing from me. Therefore, I agree to be bound. I surrender to my mother. And that moment, Mother Yashoda could tie the rope. And so these 2 inches, the pastime tells us, represents 2 very important elements of unconditional love. One is the element of endeavor. There must always be endeavor in a relationship. And the endeavor must be both ways. Krishna worked very hard to serve Mother Yashoda also. And so did Mother Yashoda. But endeavor alone is not enough. You need the mercy of the Lord. You need the blessings of the Lord. Why do you all come together? Not only do you need blessings from the Lord, you need blessings from the devotees of the Lord. Why do we fall at the feet of our parents? Why do we always ask for our parents' blessings? Any culture, we're always seeking the blessings, the goodwill of people. Why do you invite people for a social function? Because you want blessings from them. That's the origin of social functions, by the way, because you want their blessings. Nobody's coming to Pradeep's house and not giving him blessing. By the end of the day, when you have tasted the food you're going to have, you're going to be blessing him, right? Quite a bit. Because there's so much of unconditional love. That's the point. So Mother Yashoda surrendered to Krishna. Krishna surrendered to Mother Yashoda. And the rope of love is what bound Krishna. Not just the rope itself. It was the exchange of love. This is a very important point. And Mother Yashoda became very satisfied because now Krishna was still and she thought, I can now go and I can do all my household chores and little Krishna will be happy. And Krishna agreed to be bound even though God is always free and he's always independent. But for his devotee, he's always willing to reciprocate. This is the essence of the pastime. You know, when we look at the pastime, to end what we're doing today, the most important thing that comes out of the pastime is this. Always cultivate a relationship with your Creator. It's very important. We all have come from somewhere, and we will all go somewhere. That destination is the abode of God. It is very important to understand that you complete yourself when you know who you are in relation to where you have come from. You know, in Asian culture, right? You ask someone's name and they say, my name is, okay, Hui Hui. But for many older generation, that's not enough. What is your surname? They want to know your surname. Amongst the Indians also, if you say, what's your name? They'll be okay. but they want to know what's your surname, then they will know which community you come from. They may even know your father or your mother. That is the essence of spiritual life. You all have a name. Your name is that you are all spirit souls. But you're not complete until you get your surname in order. You need to know where you've come from. That completes your relationship. And that is the essence of the relationship that we have in this pastime. Mother Yashoda's love for Krishna completed her spiritual journey. And Krishna's love for Mother Yashoda made her very happy. And this is what we ask you to do. To start this journey that you all have started. To chant the names of the Lord. And to become connected with Him. It doesn't matter how you want to connect with Him. If you think it is better for me to relate to God as a friend, be a friend. If you feel it's better that I'm a very delinquent person, I need a strict parent, so God must be my strict parent, fine, He can become your strict parent. If I just need God, to be a good teacher to me, let Him be a teacher to you. It doesn't matter. But what matters is, are you starting a relationship with God? That is the essence. So thank you very much for coming together. And that is why when we light the lamp today, when you offer the lamp to the beautiful form of Krishna, being tied at the ropes, by the ropes, but being tied by Mother Yashoda, remember what we spoke about. That beautiful pastime is the perfect example of an exchange of love. And when you offer the lamb, what should your prayer be? Should your prayer be, please get me a good promotion tomorrow, get me a good wife, a good husband, These things will come and go. They will come and go. But the real question or real prayer you should have is, please allow me to receive this spiritual knowledge well, and allow me to cultivate in my heart this mood of unconditional love, not just to my Creator, but eventually to all whom I work with and all who are connected to me. That is the abundance principle. Everyone all right? Have I lost anyone anywhere? Nobody went to sleep, so I'm very happy. And these children, wow, it's amazing. You all were very quiet. Obviously, you're all yogis. That's why you're all quiet. Prabhu, I leave it to you now. I'm done with the pastime. Shall we now? Are they ready to sing?
Yes, we have the lyrics on the TV.
Okay.
Same time, do you suggest we light the lamps?
I think we should light and we should sing. Okay, so this is what's going to happen, right? There's going to be a bit of movement now. We are going to light the lamps, but as we light, we are just not going to keep quiet. Like we always do, we are going to sing. And we have very special mantras that we sing for this particular time when we light the lamps. If the mantras look a bit crazy, don't worry about it. You try, okay? But if you think that it's just nice and you like to hear, just hear it. Mantras work in any which way, right? It's like fire. It will burn you anyway. So the mantra will burn off all the impurities in your heart. If you can chant, good. But if you can't, light the lamp, pray, and come back, sit down and hear. The mantras are only 8 shlokas, like 8 stanzas. After that, we will sing the harekrishna Mahamantra. That one everybody knows, so it's not very difficult. Shall we try that? Yes, we.
The way to offer the lamb, you'll be given some water to sanitize, purify your hands. When you hold the lamp hold with your right hand, you're gonna offer it in a clockwise direction to the feet, to the navel, to the head, and to the entire. In this number 4, 2, 3, 7.
Whoa. Hui.
No, I think everybody.
I'm already confused. Okay, fine, never mind.
I think everybody will be good at this. So 4 rounds to the feet, 2 rounds to the navel, 3 rounds to the head, 7 rounds to the overall. 4, 2, 3, 7. Don't buy 4 dividends.
Now, let me just tell you one thing. If you go there and you keep thinking 4, 3, 2, 7, 4, and forget why you are going there, you have missed the point.
Yeah, then forget about the number.
So my point is, don't worry about the number. God is very, very kind. Whether you offer 1, 7, 4, 5, it's all numbers to Him. What He really wants is your heart. And you don't have to count. You can really offer it. Do it 1 time, do it 3 times, right? But I really want you to understand why you're doing it. Otherwise, a ritual never turns into something spiritual. Spirit put into ritual is spiritual. Otherwise, you will do it and hope I got it right. And if my numbers didn't turn out right, I'm in trouble. No, don't worry. Krishna is very kind, okay? And don't worry, even if your numbers are not right, you will still get to eat the food. Nobody gets punished here. Okay? Are we all right?
Yes, I think
Okay.
the people over there can start offering.
All right, so those who are there, you are very fortunate. You are seated there. You're in the circle seats. You start offering. Those who are here, you're stuck with me. So you have to start singing. Okay? Are we ready? Shall we sing?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let's sing. The beat of this song is very nice. If you know music, this is actually more closer to jazzy, bluesy feel, right? It's not a 3-beat, it's a 2-beat. So if you've always been interested in that, you'll find that actually our traditions are quite wide and our music is quite beautiful actually when you chant it. So let's chant it. Namam Ishwaram Namam Ishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Go Kule Brajamanam Namah Ishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Go Kule Brajamanam Namah Ishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Go Kule Brajamanam Namah Ishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Go Kule Brajamanam Yashoda Biyolu Kaladhavamahanam Paramrishtahamadyan Tato Drutya Gopya Yashoda Biyolu Kaladhavamanam Paramrishtahamadyan Tato Drutya Gopya Rudantam Muhurnetra Yugmam Rijantam Karamboja Yugme Nasatanka Netram Muhurnetra Karamboja Yugme Nasatanka Netram Muhu Swasa Kampa Trirekha Kakanta Stita Graivam Damo Daram Bhakti Badam Swasa Kampa Trirekha Kakanta Stita Graivam Damo Daram Bhakti Badam Iti Drikswaliladi Ananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajan Tamakyapayantam Drikswalilavi Ananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajan Tamakyapayantam Tadiyeshitanyeshu Bhaktai Jitatvam Guna Prematastam Sata Vritti Vande Varam Devaha Moksham Na Mokshavadim Na Nachanyam Vrineham Vareshadapiha मोक्षावधिं न चान्यं वृणेऽहं परेशादपीहा इदं ते वपूर्णात् गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्य विरस्तं किमन्ये वपूर्णात् गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्य विरस्तं किमन्ये इदं ते मुखाम्बोजम् अद्यन्तनीलै वृतं कुन्तलैस्निग्धरत्नैश्च गोप्यः इदं ते मुखाम्बोजम् अद्यन्तनीलै वृतं कुन्तलैस्निग्धरत्नैश्च गोप्यः मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरत्नादरं मे मनस्या विरास्ताम् अलं लक्षलाभे रत्नादरं मे मनस्या विरास्ताम् अलं लक्षलाभे नमो देवः दामोदर अनंत विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमग्नम् नमो देवः दामोदर अनंत विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमग्नम् कृपा दृष्टिवृष्यातिदिनं बतानु ग्रहाणेश मामज्ञमेदक्षिदृशया कृपा दृष्टिवृष्यातिदिनं बतानु ग्रहाणेश मामज्ञमेदक्षिदृशया कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धः मुत्यैव यातः त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभजौ कृतौ च कुबेरात्मजौ मुत्यैव यातः त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकं मे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थिदामोदरेह तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकं मे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थिदामोदरेह नमस्तेस्तु धाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदराय तविश्वस्य धाम्ने नमस्तेस्तु धाम्ने धाम्ने त्वदीयोदराय तविश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीला देवाय तुभ्यः नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीला देवाय तुभ्यम् Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Holy names, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. One more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yajna Ki.
Jai,
All glories to the chanting of the holy names Ki.
Jai,
Jai Shri Yashoda Mata Ki.
Jai,
Jai Shri Damodar Ji Ki.
Jai,
Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Srila Gurudeva Ki. Hai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari.
Thank you very much for lighting up, and I hope that you will take this experience back and keep this wonderful point that has been given to us. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for having us over.
So lunch is being served.
Hare Krishna. Thanks. Thank you very much for coming over. Thanks.